Hello. All right. First thing I'm going to ask is if you have audio on your end, let me know in the comments because today I am leveraging Restream, and part of the studio of Restream is there's mix minus, and what that means is the audio that I'm sending into Restream I can't actually monitor. So yes, LaDonna Aiken, thank you. But the really cool thing with leveraging Restream is the fact that I'm now going to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Um, I'm still using the InStream to go to Instagram, but I'm actually going to two different YouTubes as well. So I am leveraging 6 outputs from Restream. And one of the key reasons that I decided to leverage Restream with today's show was because LinkedIn is not available through the YOLO box as an API. And I wanted to really include LinkedIn. So if you are watching on LinkedIn, today's show is the first show on LinkedIn where you can actually comment, and I will get the comments as part of the show. So if anybody wants to jump over to LinkedIn and try that out, then you can go over to Anthony Barocas at LinkedIn. As such, I've got titles in my YOLO box, and I've got titles in Restream. So it's a little bit more difficult to manage. So, but I will come down here and I will say, hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Barocas. I am your StreamTek gearhead. StreamTek is my new channel just for live streaming technology. And if you watch this live show, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have many more of these. And if you want to learn more about live streaming and technology and managing all the different aspects to try and get the best show for you, that is what I'm here for. And as such, today's show, where I have a limited topic. It is leveraging Restream, but at the same time, if you have other questions, throw them into the comments because I can now see the comments. And actually, I wanted to show you what I'm looking at here. Let me put this over here to the side. I have over here, that is my Restream. That's what I'm looking at. It's a tablet running Restream vertically. And what I can see here is that's my program. And then over there on the right-hand side is all the comments. So if I tap on this one, I'm watching from Jamaica. Yay, and it comes up in the stream, and then I can tap that out. And that was one of the key things I wanted to do. I wanted to incorporate all of the comments from all of the different channels that I'm streaming to and be able to bring them all into this thing. And there's no hardware surface. I know people that use vMix and they're not able to bring in all these different streaming channels. People that use, other tools, Wirecast, Livestream, Producer, things like that. And Restream is one of those cloud technologies. Restream initially started by enabling you to send one stream and then they would restream it out to other things. Great title, great name. So now it forces us to use the term multicasting because Restream is actually a product now. So, hey, Pocket Video, thank you for watching from the UK. Unfortunately, the titles are now much smaller on the screen than they were on my big monitor in front of me, so I have to lean over and look at it. That will be something to fix in the future. It's always a development. There's always something new to learn. So thank you for that. And Julio is in Atlantic City. Good to see you, Julio. Julio is a fantastic producer, engineer extraordinaire, and he runs a show for the YOLO box called YOLO Box en Español on Facebook. And in my new setup, I actually don't have the link to that or a graphic for that, so I will make that for you. Let's see, worked out how to, oh, you know what? I can't read it when I bring it up. I worked out how to bring Restream's chat into vMix featured comment overlays. Yes, the vMix has a tool to do that. But in my working with the tool, it's it's a little cumbersome. Not to say that this isn't cumbersome, because I'm learning new things. I'm actually going to take a picture of this. And one of the things I'm finding is that when I put the comment up, the way Restream does it, let's look at that again. Restream covers the comment so I can't read it. So I'm going to write to them. They have a very active Facebook group. I'm going to write to them and say, hey, if you can change the way that highlight works, like highlight just the left-hand side or something like that, put a red bar around it or something like that, that's the active one, because hiding it means that's a little tiny for me to read, and I could read that, but I can't read that because that graphic is over top of it. So I'm learning these things as I use them. And that's what I said about this show. This show is going to be about live streaming, and we're going to use live streaming technology to do the show. Oh, another UK viewer. Thank you for watching from the UK. I got a couple in the UK. That's pretty cool. So Restream, if you're not familiar with it, it is a commercial cloud product that allows you to multicast or restream. So you're only sending out one stream, which is what I'm doing here. I'm only sending out one stream from my tablet, and then Restream is restreaming that to all these 6 other destinations. And again, those destinations are, I'm going to Twitch, YouTube, a second YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Hey, let me know which ones you find the most useful, because I'm still figuring this out. I have 0 traction on Twitter, or Twitch. I have 0 traction on Twitch. And the other thing I find out is, because I'm new to it, the streams go away after a week. So I literally only ever have one thing that people could look at. So maybe with a higher level of account, the stuff would stay there, maybe. YouTube is awesome. Facebook, there are people who like literally just live in Facebook, and so that works great. LinkedIn is reaching the business audience. Is X useful anymore? Twitter, is X, do you find that a useful streaming platform? Let me know in the comments. If you use those things. And if you're not watching this live, still let me know in the comments. The show is growing. I love to have comments on the streams after the show, on the live shows afterwards. And, we can help and learn from each other. And as I said in the beginning, if you have any, if you have any streaming questions, post them in the comments, because this is a viewer-driven show. And by that, I mean you are guiding the show. If you have a question, we'll go there. I have a bunch of stuff here to, available to mess with. If you want to do that, let's do that. Take that out. One of the things I've asked for is for comments to go away by themselves. And they said they would look at that. LaDonna Aiken says, Facebook seems to be about 5 to 7 seconds behind. And thank you for the comment from LinkedIn. It's great to see that part of it works. Can I ask a question outside of Restream? Absolutely, absolutely. This is an open show. Here, I get rid of the Restream background. Restream is sort of like the topic that I'm talking about today, but it is an open show talking about streaming, cameras, lighting, audio, mixers, the business, cloud, whatever. Just throw it in there. I'm happy to try and answer anything. And I will be honest that I don't know everything. I am still learning. I've been in this business for almost 20 years, and I am still learning because there's always something new. NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters Convention, is coming up in a couple months, and there's going to be a whole bunch of new stuff out there. I just today found out that there is this off-brand NDI video mixer with 8 inputs, and there's only one HDMI on the back. All of everything else is NDI. And I'm like, wow, where did this come from? Who's making this? And it's being sold under a bunch of different names. So, there's always something new coming out there. And that's why I kind of love this business. It's an exciting journey that we're all on together. I am checking out the Insta, and there's nobody on Insta just yet. Insta's new to me as well, but he says, would like to take this skill set to some of my corporate video students, not sure how to bring it in. Your corporate video students, what is a corporate video student? Is it someone that you're teaching video production to in the corporate world? Is it someone that you're teaching business to? I'm unclear on what exactly that is, but there's lots of tools and technologies because video is a way of communicating. And if you have a business, and there are lots of businesses out there, and they leverage video as a way to communicate to their audiences. And video is, they always say that video is one of the most effective ways of educating and instructing and conveying information because it's like person-to-person communication, me to you, you to me. And so that's where that really comes into play, being able to leverage that capability. So yes, you can absolutely ask a question outside of Restream. Anybody can. So throw that in there. And I wanted to, let's jump over to my other laptop. Let's bring this up on the correct tab here. And laptop. And yeah, we got a bunch of things to switch. So this is Restream over here on the left. Here, this is their logo. That's your home. This is your events. And if I click on events, you'll see this is my event. And that is blue, whereas my color today is purple because the new channel is that the color is purple and yellow. And I made the new channel just a few days ago after I had created the event for this show. So once I created this event, it sends that thumbnail out everywhere. So it sends it out automatically to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And I did go and chase after it and fix it in a couple places, but in here it is still the old graphic, not the new graphic, which looks a lot like this. Oh, wait. This. So purple is the new graphic and with the StreamTek logo. But as you can see with the laptop, it still has the old one in Restream because I transitioned right there in the middle of between making the event and actually doing the event, created a whole new entity on YouTube, and that's where we're pushing it. But you can see over there the little icons. Let me stand in front of it. Can I do that? I think I can. Yeah. Right here, the icons, there's the StreamTek logo and the AIBA Tech Thoughts logo. It's going to both of those YouTube pages. It's going to my Facebook page and things like that. So it shows you all these different destinations here. You can look at your past and other upcoming. I don't have anything else lined up. Otherwise, it would be there. And right here is where you can create an event. The other really nice thing is when I was using the YOLO box to build these events, the YOLO box would let me create the event, say where it was going to go, but then I had to chase after the events on all of those media and upload the thumbnail manually. Restream lets me create the event, put the thumbnail here, and then when I say create, it automatically title, description, and thumbnail does all of that. So that saves me time, and also being able to include LinkedIn in that also saves me time because I had to do that manually beforehand. So saving time, being more efficient, that's where this really came into play for me. Let's come down here, see if we got some new questions. I teach university students on how to create content. Let me go back to this camera. For corporate clients and needs, in opposed to news reporting and video type production. Oh, okay. So yeah, and I apologize. That's just the way the interface works. Can I tap over here? Yes. LaDonna Aiken says, I teach university students how to create video content for corporate clients and needs as opposed to news reporting types of video production. Corporate is basically my mainstay outside of doing live streaming and writing for Streaming Media Magazine. If you don't already subscribe, this is what the magazine looks like. And of course, it's backwards because my camera's flipped so that I can point in the correct direction. But we can go to the overhead. And Streaming Media is the magazine I write for. You can see my latest column right here with social video sizing. Serve the video what they're hungry for. So if they want vertical, give them vertical. If they want horizontal, give them horizontal, which is why I have a separate device going to Instagram. And then I just did an article, video about NDI. Oh, let me put it down here. This is an article I did for Streaming Media. Oh, goodness gracious. Back in 2020. All in on NDI. And you can see some bird dog cameras in there. This is a Panasonic camera with NDI built in. There's a NewTek Spark. There's a NewTek TriCaster, now Vizert. This is the bird dog camera controller, bird dog cloud, bird dog comms, vMix. So there's a whole swath of technology going on here. There's a Sony camera that does not have NDI, but then there's an NDI converter on top. So I just did a video on this channel talking about how you can get multiple NDI sources into your YOLO Box Ultra. The Ultra, which looks a lot like that. And I will be following that up with a video on how to do that in the Director Mini from Magewell. And I'm just going to flip that screen around. So you can see there's a big size disparity here, but this is a very capable little device, and that will be the next video that I will be working on. But as always, if you have an idea for a video that you can't find on the interwebs and say, man, I would really love it if somebody did a walkthrough on X, put it in the comments or go to the Facebook page for StreamTek and or on the YouTube page. Wait, can I do this? Yes, I can. I can go here and I can go there. Stream Technology, just because StreamTek was already taken. So Stream Technology is the actual YouTube name, and you could also email me directly at stream4us, stream4.us. But hey, I'm happy to make the instructional videos that are needed. In terms of corporate, yes, teaching corporate video, it essentially, most of the corporate video is about conveying information. And when you're conveying information, you need to pretty much keep it simple. It's not about flashy content. It's not about cool bugs and wipes and everything. That's sports and things like that. For corporate content, the message is the thing. And so finding the most efficient way to convey that message is the way to do it. The YOLO Box is a great tool for that. The Director Mini would be a great tool for that. Actually, Restream is amazingly powerful because their built-in studio, which is what I'm leveraging to do this, will actually let you connect multiple cameras into the studio. They will just keep showing up as additional devices. And if it's not a webcam or a little DSLR with a UVC out, you can actually use a little USB capture device like this and then just bring in a laptop and then do your picture-in-picture and all that fancy stuff right in Restream. You can record. You don't even have to stream. You can record and then take that content, boil it down, make sure it's got the right length on it, and then upload that to whatever e-learning or corporate distribution they're looking for. So there's lots of ways to use live streaming technology in terms of corporate communication. I'm going to bring that one up and let you read it. Thanks much. I'm a user of Switcher Studio over 9 years now. My problem is I just can't get DJI Mini 3 Pro to work with Switcher Studio. I get it connected, but I can't remote the writing. Yeah, because the Switcher Studio, I got to touch off so I get it. The Switcher Studio only controls the Osmo Mobile. I don't think they work with I don't think there's a DJI hook at all. It's been a couple years since I've used Switcher Studio, but I have used Switcher Studio for many years. I put up a poll back in 2017 after using it for several months, asking what are the most used features, and there's like hundreds of responses to that thing. And so I've been using it for years, but then when COVID hit, I transitioned to remote work, and Switcher Studio didn't have a remote capability at the beginning of COVID, so I quickly shifted to using vMix, which let me bring in 8 remote guests. But Switcher Studio is a great polished tool. It's iPad-based with iPhones as cameras, but now there's more capability available. And you can't get your DJI Mini 3 Pro, probably because first there's not you say you can get it connected, but you can't remote the writing. it's probably, I've used Osmo mobiles, and they hold the phones. So what you're doing is you're using Switcher Studio to talk to the phone, and then that phone talks to that gimbal to pan and tilt and everything. And that has proven to be very, very reliable. I have 4 Osmo mobiles that I use when I use my Switcher Studio, and I have a package of kits and iPads. And I actually do have a video planned for Switcher Studio as well. Javier Nunez asks, if I got a friend broadcasting in another state, but he wants to take his broadcast and translate it in English and put it in my social media, can it be possible? Me not been there with him and been at my office and rebroadcast his event. Are you asking to do that live? Because there is cross-language captioning capability in YouTube, but I don't know about which languages are able to be done in real time. He's broadcasting in another state, but wants to take his broadcast, translate it in English, and put it in my social media. Are you also asking if you want to have somebody revoice it in real time and bring it over? Because there's probably AI tools for that as well, to take one language in and revoice it in another language. So there's a lot of variabilities here. Dennis Deegan, I'm in Cedar Grove, New Jersey, and I've known for 30 years, going all the way back to our days at the Mills Corporation. Yes, indeedy. Yes. So Dennis, thank you for watching. And for everyone who has not already liked and subscribed, please do that. But also, if you see a piece of video that you like, sharing it on your social media helps me reach people that I couldn't otherwise reach. And that really helps me out as well as I launch this. And Todd Tuckey, welcome Todd Tuckey. I worked with Todd back when I was in theater back in Pennsylvania, and he was one of the fantastic supporters of the Premier Arts, the Premier group that put on several community theater shows, and he runs TNT Amusements. So if you are interested in pinball machines, video games and things like that, look up TNT Amusements, and you can find out more about that. And I have never actually jumped on purchasing a game, but it's always been kind of like, man, it'd be kind of cool to have that in the corner, but I don't know how much I would play it. Sarah says, thank you very much for that. Caviar says, yes, live. So yeah, it comes down to understanding which languages can be transcribed in real time. I don't know what languages you could, there's probably a Google Doc on the YouTube support area somewhere that will say, in terms of live transcription, what languages would work. English to these 3 or 5 or whatever, or Spanish to these languages, or, it depends on what coming from and to, whether it's possible for that to happen in real time while it's live. So I don't have the answer to that, and I'm just going to be honest. When I don't have the answer, I'm going to tell you that I don't have the answer and don't try to make anything up. Peter J. Milner asks, I use a Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced for search and rescue. I use a YOLO Box Mini on a 3D printed bracket and the smart controller. It works great. Yes, the YOLO Box Mini, which I have one here, the YOLO Box Mini is about the size of the Director Mini. Actually, the Director Mini is a little smaller. The YOLO Box Mini has only the one HDMI input and a USB input, which technically you could make into a second HDMI input. HDMI out, Ethernet. But the nice thing with these devices is they also have cellular. So you can actually broadcast directly from a YOLO Box with cellular. You can record to the SD card. It's got Wi-Fi, so you can connect both the internal cellular and Wi-Fi to your cell phone. And then if you only bring it in the one source, you can take a ZTE stick. I just made a video on how to get these things configured. And then you can put that in there, and you can be bonding this, your Wi-Fi, and your cellular. All 3 of those things, you can bond them together into one reliable connection through YOLO Live's bonding service. So those are really cool tools as well. And just in case anybody didn't know, Todd Tuckey is still selling the video games and pinball machines, and he's got a lot of really cool videos on his YouTube channel. So that is a good resource if you're into, good fun games and a bit of nostalgia as well. Lynn chimes in. Hey, good to see you, Lynn. Thank you for tuning into the show. I appreciate you being there. And again, we're talking Restream and we're talking live streaming. And I can't read the comment while it's up, so I'm going to take it up for now. We go way back. Yes, there was a group back in the very beginning of the interwebs, back when it was dial-up and it cost you money per however long it was metered. How long you stayed on is how much you paid. And we had the VidPro email list, which then became a VidPro group on Facebook. And now we still have an email list, but with today's social media being so immediate that there's almost no need to have an email list when you can just go get an answer from any number of forums. Peter writes in, I use a ZTE router connected to both the controller and the YOLO box. That gives live stream of the YOLO box and mapping of other things on the controller. Yeah, there's a lot of technology. This is just one of the routers. I have another one that I have not been able to configure very well, but I've also got like the Netgear M1, 4x4 router as well. So there's lots of really good solutions out there for doing that. Let me take, which one's up? Lynn's up. Oh, okay, so I can tap off of that while it's up. Good to know. Learning something new as I do the show. Let me continue with the Restream over here. Let me go that here. And coming down here, you've got your video storage. So you can also use Restream for recording your media. You can have teams. I don't have a team, but depending upon the size of the account, you can have multiple people building events, managing content, uploading and downloading finished shows. And then, of course, there's always the more. You can get analytics on your shows. There's a help center. That's me. Different settings, billing, and you can log out. Down here, what I'm leveraging is I am leveraging the studio. So I'm actually going to go into the studio. Hopefully it doesn't mess. You can see my show going on right here. There it is. It's actually showing me my show and the comments. That's pretty slick. You can schedule an event, which is how I built the show. I used their scheduling tool in order to post this out there to all the different media. You can upload or stream a video file and what we call an almost live. You make a show like it's live and then you save it so that at the proper time you stream the recording. And what that does is you at least know there's no technical errors in the stream. And by uploading it to the cloud, you don't have to worry about your local internet either. So it's kind of a way of bulletproofing a really important live event by doing it early and then just uploading it. So like when Apple did their big announcement and all this stuff, it was live streamed for us, but they had filmed it with the iPhone weeks, months earlier, that all of that stuff was just super smooth. Wow, that live event was so polished. Yeah, it was an edited event. You basically watched a pre-recorded show. So, but that is a great way of making sure that your live stream doesn't have any errors or anything. But I don't do that for these. I don't pre-do them and do this because it's an interaction between you, the audience, and me here doing the show, where you can ask a question, I can do my best to answer it, and hopefully we can have a dialogue. You can stream a playlist here, and then you could just record video and audio as opposed to actually telling it to stream. Over here is where you can connect your external devices, and then you can edit your destinations. If you go into the studio, hopefully it will let me do this. I have not actually tested whether I could be in two studios in Restream at the same time. So if all of a sudden the live stream goes dark, this is why. So this is the studio. This is the green screen behind me. And we are going to enter the studio that's using the webcam in the laptop right here. But I wanted to show you a little bit more about the studio that I'm not going to click through over here. In this view, this is a widescreen view, so you have all of your cameras over here. And like I said, if you connected another USB camera, you would literally see it right here, a second input and a third input, which is really cool. You can do horizontal and vertical. You have multiple preset layouts, which makes it simplifies things. You're not having to build these things, but then you're also limited to these layouts. You can share your screen. You can add remote guests, which is a really handy feature that some desktop tools don't have. It's built in here. And the nice thing is also is they're not coming all the way into your device here locally and then back out. They're going to the same cloud that you're reaching. Remember, this is all happening in the cloud. So you don't need a really powerful machine to be able to do any of this. This is all happening on a more powerful machine somewhere else. And when we say in the cloud, it's on the ground somewhere else in somebody else's server. But that's what's here. And then of course you've got your settings. There's this private chat down here so that you can have a chat with other guests. That's what that private chat is so that we can say, okay, we're going to wrap it up in 5 minutes, and you can have that chat just between the guests, even though over here is where you can have your guests chat come in when people are, commenting like you're commenting. That's where this shows up. And so you can show that comment on there. Show. It's being a little slow. There it comes. No, maybe not. Let's try it again. There it goes. Never miss a comment. And then you can take that out. Additionally, over here is where you've got additional resources. So you can choose how you want people's names to appear. If you ever used StreamYard, it's very similar. You've got your colors. So for this show, it's in blue. When I rebuild my Restream, it's going to be in purple. You got your different logos you can use, different backgrounds. Down here, you've got video clips, and of course, there's pluses so that you can add your own overlays, add your own logos, add your own video clips. The next tab is captions. So like, what streaming questions do you have? These are the captions I'm actually using over there. It's shared because they're all in the studio. You don't have different studios. Down here, you can collapse that. So if you're not using lower thirds, you're just using tickers, you can put that different media in here. QR codes is not something that I've used here yet, but when I did run a weekly show for YOLO Live, I ran a contest and I had a QR code. So I built that externally, brought that in as a graphic. But here, they let you build a QR code right in Restream. They've got built-in music. And then, as I showed you before, they've got the built-in chat. And I will say the neat help, the built-in help, I have used that a couple of times as I was in the process of trying to put this show together. And hey, Rome, good to see you. Carlos, good to see you as well. In the process of putting the show together, I did leverage their online help. And I have to say it was responsive, and whoever I was messaging with knew what they were talking about and was able to help me each time. And it's really hard to, put a dollar value on that, but it is definitely helpful when you're in the tool and you are having an issue with something right there and then to be able to hit a button and have somebody come up within a couple minutes and be able to say, hey, I'm trying to do this, or I'm seeing this happen. Is that supposed to happen? How do I do X? And they can give you an answer right there. That's really, really handy. And that's one of the really nice tools, the really nice advantages of using software as a service. So that's basically what this is, SaaS. And using Restream as your switching tool makes it so you're really using someone else's computer, someone else's software. You don't own it. You basically just pay a monthly fee. But at the same time, it's active. It's actively being developed, it's actively being updated, and there's different levels. So if you don't need the biggest level, you don't need to spend all this money, you can spend less money. And then you just pay for the level services you need. And then one month you're doing something big, you can level up for that month and then level back down. So, there's that flexibility in terms of leveraging Restream for whatever you might be doing. And the fact that I've got 2 studios open at the same time, I think is also pretty slick. So let me close out. I'm not going to go live. Let me close out of this studio and bring Carlos. Carlos Phoenix is another longtime streaming expert with an amazing amount of experience in a lot of different tools. So he's, if you see him in various forums, he is a great person to know, and he can also sell you some streaming gear and get you set up with that as well. So you can always reach out to Carlos. Rome is very active in the streaming. He streams probably more than anybody I know, because he does a lot of live streaming in terms of talking about and reviewing Amazon products. So Amazon has an engine within Amazon. So he will talk about products and provide video demonstrations of those products. So if you are looking at different tools, he is, you're probably going to hit one of his videos on Amazon sooner or later. Brian Dickinson says, been using Restream since 2020. It's fantastic. Tie-in box casting. You have a very locked down client experience. Yes, that is something to think of as well, because Restream, I don't think, has a white label back end audience facing side to it. So what Boxcast does is Boxcast is the content delivery network. So when we say Restream connects to 30 different systems, they're the 30 different content delivery networks. YouTube is a content delivery network, a CDN. Facebook, it's a social media platform, but it's also a content delivery network. And when you use Restream to hook into these content delivery networks, that content is open to everyone. But if you wanted to have, a fundraising event or a corporate event where you wanted to really restrict who could see what's going on, by name, by email address, by login password, and then once one person is logged in, that email couldn't be used again by a second person who found out about it. You need a different content delivery network that can provide, either monetization or limitation. And that's what he's talking about when he uses Boxcast for that. Jay Films says, hello to you as well. Thanks for tuning in. Fox Caviar Nunez asks, I'm going to leave that up there for a couple of seconds. Oh, wait, that's right. I can tap off the side. Fox Sports Baseball. Can I use Restream Studio? How can I add multiple cameras? For sports baseball, you can add multiple cameras through your laptop or whatever it is. You can add, through a USB, HDMI to USB, or if you just want to use, I don't think it'll work with NDI, but you can possibly use NDI cameras or Mevo starts as well. But the OBSBot actually has an HDMI out right there. So you could use that and then use the software to be able to pan and tilt and things like that. But as I just saw in somebody else's video, using a device like the Start enables you to have that wide shot of the whole play field, say baseball, but then a close-up on a closer shot on first, a closer shot on third, and then the wide shot, and be able to tap between those three different views as if they're multiple cameras, but it's one stream coming from this device. So that's really handy. And like I says, you can bring all these sources into your one laptop, but I did it on a desktop machine. I did not do it on my low-end laptop here. And what I would say is then you're actually asking more of your local laptop to take 3 of these, compress 3 sources and send them to Restream. So you're asking a little bit more of your local machine than say you just want the one webcam and you're controlling remote cameras. So there's that to consider, how powerful your laptop is. In as much as I say Restream, all the processing is in the cloud. At the same time, if you're connecting 3 cameras to your one laptop on location, then yes, you're asking more of your local laptop than doing it all in the cloud. Carlos also mentions that you can use camera switchers and USB out like an ATEM, RGB Link, or YOLO box, Roland, among others. Yes, like I says, Carlos is also an expert. Lots of experts out there, and he's very knowledgeable. And he's right. If you had an ATEM and then you could take the UVC out of the ATEM and do your multi-camera switching in the ATEM, bring that in as one camera, to your Restream studio and send it out from there. And then of course, if you have an ATEM that can do streaming, you can push the stream directly from the ATEM out USB, cell phone connection, whatever, and then use RTMP into Restream and then bounce it out to all your destinations there. What I'm doing differently though is I am using the studio so that I could also bring the comments up like this, so I can tap them on and off. So I'm actually bringing my camera into the studio in Restream. So I could switch multiple cameras like my overhead camera and things like that, but I'm still using the YOLO box for the bulk of my local switching just because the multi-views I have control over. So if I wanted to have this multi-view talking about Restream versus that multi-view talking about Restream, I have different ways of laying things out, and then I can also be over top of it talking about things. And that's what the YOLO box is giving me in terms of doing this show. It gives me more capability, more specific, more I'm able to define what I want my layouts to look like. And Restream does have that capability at higher tiers, but I still like the ability just to build it right in my machine and I have it a tap away. Brian Dixon says the most valuable reason to use Restream in our experience has been the ability, just tap that back up again, ability to show clients analytics, upload megabits per second, audio feed stats. They can't throw you under the bus or pass blame off to you. Yes, I will agree with that because I leveraged Restream for a music concert, local community music concert, and I had the organizer run up to me in the middle of the show and say, "We're not on Facebook." And I looked at it and I says, "Look, I'm sending to Restream. Restream has it and it's sending it out." And there we saw the error message that Facebook had closed the stream because in between musicians, they played some pre-recorded music. Facebook said, "No, copyrighted," and just terminated the stream. Within Restream, we were able to actually say, "Start stream again," and we restarted the stream. But yeah, it really helps in terms of saying, look, here, our stream locally is getting to the cloud. We can't control what Facebook does. I can't control what Facebook, YouTube, we have no control over them. We can't tell them, no, you have to let my stream go. So it's very useful in terms of dealing with clients to have that process path laid out in front of them. And you can sit there and say, look, our stream was healthy. You paid me to mix and upload, and I have proof that it got there. After that, when we hand it off to Facebook, it's out of my hands. If Facebook wants to terminate it because you played some recorded music in between artists, that's on you. Don't do that. And so there's lots of valuable things that Restream and StreamYard and other tools. This is not the only tool that does this, but today we're just specifically talking about Restream. And that's one of the really cool things that Restream does let you do is, it gives you that status. If you have it open on the laptop right next to you and you're able to see what's going on. And then if an error comes in and a stream drops out, you're able to see what's going on, hit restart. And hopefully, as long as you've got your settings in your CDN set properly, that will remain open until you terminate the stream. Otherwise, sometimes if you have it set to close the stream automatically, as soon as that thing is closed, that stream is done and you have to start a new stream separate from the one that people were watching. And that has happened. So there's things to always be aware of, and it's a very complex thing. And because it's all in the cloud, it's one of those things that's really hard to show to people unless it's happening in real time. But it's one of those things that there's always something new to learn. Brian Dixon asks, have you had success with Restream's failover source? I call it failover. I have not used that. Like I says, I'm using the studio, so there is no failover for me in terms of using Restream, sourcing into Restream. What I'm doing is I'm actually using my camera connection into the Windows machine that's doing this. And if I go here and here, you can see that it's coming in as a camera. So that is my camera right there, and then I have the comments over there on the right. But this way, I can see the comments, I can move between the comments, and I will say the doing it here is more visible. It shows more, and I'm able to see them come in more reliably than I was able to see them when I was using the YOLO box, which has a smaller area on a smaller screen. And I've had it where the shows have gotten busy enough that as the comments were coming in, I would have it in one spot and it wouldn't keep loading below. It would just jump somewhere else. And then I had to like find where I was. And then as I'm finding it, it's jumping again. And that became problematic in terms of managing a lot of comments. So I'm trying this out in order to find a better solution for the comments. Right now, I think this is working really well in terms of I would love them to go away after a few seconds, but they don't do that automatically. Hopefully that feature request gets pushed up. Peter J. Milner says, Restream is a pain in the butt, but I found it to be less of a pain than the YOLO Live servers. I built my own RTMP server. Yes, you can always roll your own. Nowadays that AWS services, Amazon Web Services is available very affordably. You can spin something up, run it in the cloud, spin it down, and be able to do that if you have the technical expertise. That level of producer is not as prevalent as those who are just like, listen, I just want to be able to create an event going to multiple places without having to chase after it to upload thumbnails. I want it simple. I want to be able to see my comments right there on the screen and be able to bring them up. I want it to be simple. And I want to be able to start and stop the stream and see my analytics and be able to do everything and have it work reliably. They just want it simple. They don't want the technical challenge of putting things together. There are experts out there who can build amazing things, but their level of expertise is above mine. And I'm happy to admit that there are smarter people than me, because there are. But at the level that many, many people are, especially those who are looking to get into streaming, finding ways to make it easier, simpler, but still professional looking and reaching bigger audiences. That's really what I'm trying to talk about today when I'm talking about leveraging Restream for your live streams. STR mini server running on a cloud Ubuntu server has worked okay for us. RTMP has just too much delay between systems. Yeah, and I believe there's probably a good percentage of the audience who are going to hear an STR mini server, Ubuntu, and RTMP, and they're going to be like, you're at the upper level of what they're able to do. And that's why I like Restream, in that it makes it so that it's easier. Having the API for most of these destinations makes it so you basically say, yeah, I wanted to go to LinkedIn. Yeah, I wanted to go to X. Yeah, I wanted to go to Twitch. Yes, I wanted to go to YouTube. Yes, I wanted to, and you basically say this, go. And that can make the majority of people who want to be able to live stream get their show up on the air, get it in front of audiences, and develop that rapport. So, hey, we've been going a good 50 minutes here, and I appreciate all of you. Let me tag this again. My name is Anthony Barocas. Welcome to the first actual stream on StreamTek channel, but it's like my 58th show, and I am looking forward to do a lot more of these. So if you're watching this after the event, please subscribe and share content that you find useful, because there's going to be other people that that I don't, who are going to see this and possibly jump in as well. Brian Dixon says, keep up the good work, man. I will try. I will try my best. I know there's still a lot to learn for everybody. Pocket Video School says, I'm struggling to work out how to do an SRT to a mobile vMix setup using a live view system as a roving camera feed. Wow, that's a lot of moving parts. To a mobile vMix setup using a live view system as a roving camera feed. Well, live view, yeah, then you're going to need an RTMP pull maybe from that, which Restream does as well at a higher level that I'm at, and an SRT into vMix. And then, of course, If you're mobile, then do you always have the same IP and ports that need to be open to allow SRT into it? There's a lot of moving pieces with that, which is probably why you're struggling. Maybe there's ways to work around that. By instead of sending SRT, you can leverage like OBS Ninja and send it to a cloud destination that's fixed, and then pull it down from there via NDI. And then that way, you're not trying to. You don't have two moving targets in terms of IP addresses, and trying to hit them as they're both moving. You're going to an intermediary that's fixed, pulling from that intermediary, and that may simplify the process. One of the things I know about the YOLO box is that if you have an account with YOLO box and you stream through from their YOLO box through the cloud server, your account there, that stream will be available in another device, in another city, and you can pull it down very easily. That has that has enabled people like I worked with one guy who was doing a funeral. They wanted to have something outside and then immediately jumped inside, but didn't want to get them moving. So they used another YOLO box outside, pushed it up to the top. They got all the arrivals, and that was just one of the inputs inside the funeral home. And as soon as people started to arrive in the main room, he just switched cameras to that one and let the other one go. And yes, that was outside and inside, but it could have been two different cities. It could have been anywhere. So that's a really great integration that YOLO Live doesn't really make much mention of. But considering taking a mini, you can have a bunch of different minis around this marathon and be able to go to different locations. Or like a New Year's Eve celebration. Hey, let's go to Berlin. Hey, let's go to London. Hey, let's go to New York City. Hey, let's go to Las Vegas. Boom. That it's a great way to build that. And Brian Dixon just jumped in and says NDI Bridge is another option. Absolutely, NDI Bridge and Bird Dog Cloud are both. If you're going to leverage NDI, both of those are available, and they make it so that those pieces can't. There's the arch is much easier to build. So I have been going for a little bit here. I do thank you all for tuning in. Hey, you can all continue on the comments on the shows after the fact, but I believe I am going to wrap it up here today. My name is Anthony Barocas. Thank you all for watching the inaugural full StreamTek live stream leveraging Restream for our viewer comments. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.